Hey there, Pisces, and welcome to your November 2019 Creativity Tarot reading. My name is Kayleigh Jean, and welcome to my channel. As I was tuning into your energy for the month of November, I was given a couple of impressions. First of all, I kept seeing the Chariot card really clearly, and it just kept coming through repeatedly during the meditation. So the Chariot card represents mastery, in my view. It represents an urge toward mastery, and a lot of times that process of mastering maybe a craft or mastering out some aspect of our personal growth, whatever it is, it involves us encountering different aspects of ourselves, maybe conflicting desires, conflicting pushes or impulses, or conflicting obligations, maybe even externally. And really finding a way to sort of balance those things and finding a way to sort of align ourselves and get balanced within ourselves so that the actions that we take in the world can have our full energetic kind of potential and intention behind them. So there's going to be a lot of realignment, I feel, for many of you in November. This is typically a pretty successful time, a good time for Pisces when the sun is in Scorpio. And we also have this Mercury retrograde throughout the first 3 weeks almost of November in the sign of Scorpio. The good news with that is that Mercury's not receiving or making any hard aspects, so it should be a relatively peaceful time, at least when we're comparing it to other Mercury retrograde periods. If you tend to be somebody who has a hard time with Mercury retrograde, or if you really like it and enjoy it, either way, I think you're probably going to feel quite comfortable with this energy, Pisces, because Mercury will be in his retrograde motion trining any points that you have in Pisces, and he'll also just be, engaging with the sun as well in a very watery way, which is very complementary to your sign. So you should overall feel pretty much at home with the energies of November, but that was the astrology. I wanted to talk about the other meditation message that was coming through. So while I was tuning in, I actually felt this sensation. Almost, it was like someone was I was being given this impression of someone kind of massaging like the scalp and just closing their eyes and just feeling so good. Like it just feels so good. Like all of this tension just melting away. Whew, even just talking about it, I'm like, that feels really good. So I don't know what this is for you, Pisces, and it's going to be unique to each one of you because you're all individuals, but I'm getting this impression that it's really going to be a great time to maybe book in a massage or do something for your self-care that's going to be really nice for you and going to kind of give you a feeling of relief and a feeling of relaxation. I think it's going to be very, very nourishing and very potentially just very rejuvenating, essentially. So it could be, I feel like this has to do more so with like a service, which is interesting because sometimes self-care is, great just with being at home or things that you can do for free, taking time to yourself. But the impression that I almost get with November is that for you, it's like if you are a Pisces who wants to do something like that, but you're not sure if you want to give yourself permission to do something nice or give yourself a little treat, I feel like this is a good time to do it. So go get a massage or get a facial, or go get your hair done or something like that. Even I almost get this impression of almost like someone kind of changing something about their appearance as well. So that could be something that you decide to do if it feels right, and maybe you would get that professionally done, and it just could be actually quite a nourishing experience for you in ways that maybe you weren't anticipating. It's just a little bit more soothing for you to make that change or go get some kind of nice thing done for yourself. Okay, so let's take a look at your tarot cards and we'll get some more information. Pisces, Pisces. Clear living guidance for Pisces. Clear living guidance for Pisces. Pisces. Okay. And let's take a look at your cards. And we'll get some more insight into week by week as well as overall themes. So let's take a look at your path card. We've got the whale, oh, gorgeous. And the influencing energy is the rabbit, beautiful. So when I see the whale card coming up as your path for a Pisces, this is really gorgeous energy. Just like I was saying before, I feel like you're going to feel very much at home with the energies of November. And I feel like this whale card is really confirming that, because when I see this creature, it just gives me such a feeling of peace and a sense of, what I want to say here is actually solidarity with self. With the whale card, there's an impression that I get of you, Pisces, going through the energies of this month, having the experiences that you're having, and kind of quietly noticing the meaning behind those experiences. And maybe there's going to be some synchronicities or some intuitive hits that you get, some inexplicable phenomenon that are exciting to you and that give you faith and give you hope for your future. And I see you kind of passively, almost peacefully noticing those things. And maybe you don't feel like you need to broadcast them. Maybe you're just kind of having these little spiritual moments to yourself in ways that you aren't necessarily sharing it and talking about it, or maybe you are, but just not to a whole bunch of people. There's like a sense of containment within your own little universe with the whale card, and feeling like you can kind of gently move through whatever experiences that you're having this month and not really be as fazed by them. When I see the whale card, like there's something sort of divinely imperturbable about the whale. There's something about this creature that just can't be roused to frustration or anger or rage or bitterness. There's something about this creature that it just feels very calm in terms of its solidarity with itself and its confidence, you know, it's being rooted to yourself that we see here. Now the influencing energy is the rabbit, and I'm actually, weirdly, I'm picking this up more as something in your environment than from you, Pisces, which is so unusual with these readings, the way that I normally see them. But I feel like there could be somebody in your environment who sort of represents the rabbit. And you'll know this person because they always have something to worry about. They always have something that they are concerned for. And you probably feel for them because you go through periods of that as well. But I don't really feel that to be your energy this month. I feel like maybe you have, if you have a friend, let's say, who's into astrology or who's into tarot, they might be saying, oh my gosh, it's Mercury retrograde. Like, I'm having like the worst day ever, or my car broke down, or what if my car breaks down? What if I have a hard time with this big project that I'm doing? Or they might be sort of catastrophizing and worrying about things and sort of voicing their concerns. Or maybe if you have a friend who's into tarot, maybe they get kind of hard cards in their own reading and they're just kind of coming to you about it and asking you like, what's going on? What's in here? Or it feels to me like you have someone in your environment who is kind of experiencing this Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, and just all the energies of November a little bit more in terms of stress. And it could also be like an environment that you're in where there's like several nervous people around you. But overall, I feel there's this kind of humorous, gentle, authentic, easygoing energy that you can take to those relationships, especially if this is somebody who you're close with or who you know you're going to remain close with. You don't have to get frustrated with this person. You can just kind of nod along and be like, yeah, you know, I mean, I guess that could happen, but doesn't really feel like it will. And you can just be sort of like a source of easygoing, reassurance, maybe, if you want to, if you feel the desire to do that. If this is somebody who's been there to reassure you in the past, maybe you will want to show up for them in this way. But ultimately, I feel that, basically, you might get a hint of this if you're really empathic, Pisces. You might kind of start to pick up some of this anxiety yourself, but the message is to be aware that if that's the case, it's not actually your emotion that you're picking up on and that you're feeling. It's actually the emotion of someone or something in your environment. And so the more that you can disengage from that and recognize when you're feeling your feelings and when you're feeling their feelings, or just reflecting the energy of your environment as opposed to looking within yourself and asking, what do I really feel about this? Then you will find that you have the freedom to actually respond to your life in a way that isn't just a reaction to your environment or a reflection of your environment. And it's not just empathy, feeling other people's emotions, it's your authentic response to the shape that your life is taking. And your authentic response this month, I feel, is pretty fucking chill with the whale. So let's go ahead and take a look at your tarot cards and see some more specifics. Yeah, see, you are just right at home, Pisces. You are right at home with the Queen of Cups. Gorgeous. Queen of Wands, Justice, Nine of Swords, Seven of Pentacles, Strength, the Tower, and the Wheel. Whoa. Really significant changes at the end of the month. That's really powerful. Wowie wow. So as we go into the month of November, I'm getting this almost kind of priestess vibe to this card. And whether you're a male or female Pisces, whether you engage a lot in spiritual, activities or spiritual work with yourself, or maybe even a spiritual community, this is reflective of your energy as you go into November to some extent. And this really matches up so well with the whale because it shows that sense of being at home in the watery nature that is your kind of birthright, Pisces. You go on this journey and you are just completely held. Like when you're swimming, you're held and buoyed by your own vibration. Look at this, these lines coming from it. This is your vibration. It's this is your aura. When your aura is strong, when you are balanced, when you are nourishing your physical body, taking care of yourself emotionally, engaging with yourself and others in a loving way, your vibration is so strong that you don't have to go outside of that. You can just radiate that positive vibes, and people around you are going to pick up on it, and that can bring in a lot of success, or it can bring in a lot of creative energy to your projects as well. So you're right at home, and we have the Queen of Wands here as well. So this could be a fire sign person that you're in business with, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, or it could be an aspect of you stepping into a managerial role, either in your place of work or leading something new and innovative in your industry if you're a business owner. But I see things kicking off really, really well. If you're considering working or partnering with a fire sign person, or if you are working with them, I see that there is potential for a good connection here. There is potential for you to do some great work together, but, and this is a but it's not a bad but, I just also have to point out that followed by the Justice card and the Nine of Swords, there could be some questioning around the middle of the month, either within you or maybe within your business partner or the other person that you could be working with. There could be some concern over what seems fair, or there could be some concern over equality and issues of equality within the partnership. So I want you to, if there is something like this going on in your life, Pisces, I want you to be really thoughtful and strategic and objective about it. There could be initially an emotional reaction to a thought. That's what we see with the Nine of Swords, is an emotional reaction to a negative thought. And if you react emotionally to that thought in such a way that you're sort of acting things out in the situation, that could potentially be really challenging to the overall equilibrium of it. So definitely if you're having any doubts or if you're having any concerns, and it may or may not be with this fire sign person, it could also be with someone else. It could be some other situation in your life, like maybe you're asking yourself, am I getting what I'm putting out, like in my job? And maybe you're thinking, if not, like it's time for me to start looking. Or it could be something in a personal relationship, and then these two things could be business. You know, these two people could be business relationships. So, or involved in a business relationship is what I mean. So either way, there is this creeping in sense of, is this fair to me? Or is this fair in the situation? And there's maybe a little bit of fear around how to express perhaps feeling left out or feeling like something isn't quite working for you. Because the Nine of Swords is that kind of anxiety. And this could also, by the way, because we saw the Rabbit card, which is so unusual, reflecting someone else in your life, the Justice card and the Nine of Swords could be saying that there's somebody in your sphere who is going through something like this, and maybe you are stepping in as the Justice card. You are trying to be like a source of clarity and grounded reactions for this person who feels like they are going through something really heavy or feels very disempowered. So that can also be the case. And this could be like the situation where we were seeing, you know, earlier, where you're kind of maybe willingly or unwillingly kind of you find yourself tasked with handling someone else's emotional response to a situation. And there are situations where you can't really avoid that. Like, let's say that you have a roommate. You can't necessarily avoid having to sometimes cope with your roommate's energy because you have made this agreement. You are sharing space. And if something gets uncomfortable or if something starts to seem not quite balanced, well, it's going to take you a little while to address that because you can't just up and leave overnight. I mean, sometimes we do have situations come up where it is actually in our best interest to kind of be a support system for someone else. And as long as, you know, they are listening to us and hearing us, and we can see that they actually want our help and that they are taking what we say to heart, or that they are willing to engage with us in a way that is considerate and compassionate, and they're not trying to negatively affect us with their energy. As long as you can see that this person is basically willing to meet you halfway, then I think it's totally fine and appropriate for you, Pisces, to step in and offer some kind of comfort or advice, provided it all makes sense in the context of the relationship. I think that that's one of your gifts, Pisces. Honestly, that is one of the reasons that you can be so successful in life, because you specifically, you're the last sign of the zodiac. So you, in terms of the symbolism, you have a drop of every other sign in you. So you are extremely compassionate and you're very aware of what other people are going through, and you can definitely get into the trenches with people of their emotional life. And that can be a double-edged sword, as we all know, but when it makes sense, when you are properly grounded, when you are balanced, and when you are maintaining that sense of fairness and honoring yourself in the relationship, and you can see that the other person is honoring you too, then, you know, it makes a lot of sense for you to step in and be kind of a helper. The third week of November, we have the Seven of Pentacles and Strength. So for those of you who resonated with one of the messages before that was about like the Justice card and the Nine of Swords being kind of like needing to face inequality in a partnership, for some of you, by the third week of November, if you resonated with that message, you may be deciding to cut ties, because we have this person harvesting the mistletoe. So they're taking what they could get out of a situation that is of medicinal benefit to them. They're taking something out of the situation that is a lesson, it's growth, it is some kind of benefit. But then they're also kind of standing strong within themselves with the Strength card. So to me, this looks more like self-reliance than it does look like kind of merging forces, if you can see what I mean, just based on these cards. I feel like this is more a sense of reclaiming your personal space or reclaiming your independence, or kind of gathering up your resources so that you can take your life in a different direction. So for some of you, that could literally look like if you've been going through a divorce, which can sometimes be Justice and the Nine of Swords, could be like if you're in the middle of a divorce proceeding and it's gone to legal means, like it's there's like a court or anything like that. This could show success for you. This could be a welcome sign if you are in the middle of a court process, Pisces, because it could show that you are harvesting whatever you can get out of the situation, perhaps in terms of a settlement, but then you're also feeling really strong within your own self. It represents kind of a moral victory, I want to say, or like a feeling of being vindicated. And maybe you didn't get everything because he's leaving a lot of the mistletoe on the tree, but he's taking something, and he also has his dignity, or she has her dignity. So it's like you're harvesting something, which can be a separation, but it can also be a harvest, which is great. And then you also have this sense of like, I have my dignity, I have my strength, like I'm ready to move forward and put this behind me, and I know that I have like everything that I need to move forward. So that's kind of what I get in the third week of November. So for those of you who've been involved in some kind of a sticky or frustrating separation process, I see something really beneficial for you in this spread. For others of you, this could mean getting some space, and that might mean temporary space from someone in your life. It could mean making the decision to break up with someone, or end a friendship, or end a career. But I also see this potentially as you really just having learned a lesson with something and feeling like you can take away some kind of benefit, and you at the same time feel a renewed sense of strength within yourself with the Strength card. So amidst all of these changing influences and energies, then you get the Wheel and the Tower. So wow, Pisces. This could have something to do with, as the sun moves into Sagittarius, it is beginning to make a square aspect, a 90-degree aspect to any of your points that you have in Pisces. So this can present some obstacles when we have squares, from the sun and any other planets that are traveling with the sun, like Venus and Mercury. Mercury will be late, and actually Venus will have already moved on to Capricorn, but there's going to be some energy moving through Sag as the sun goes through, and then followed by Mercury. And you're going to probably feel like there's a situation in your life where things are being stirred up, I want to say. Like, that's what I get with the Wheel and the Tower. The Wheel card and the Tower card in the tarot are both archetypes that represent impersonal influences. Like, we don't get to initiate the Wheel of Fortune in our lives. The Wheel of Fortune turns by, the hand of the gods only, or the hand of the fates. And the Tower represents the will of God, or the will of the universe, striking this tower, reshaping and tearing down an old structure. Structure can be metaphorical of habit. It can be metaphorical of institutions and things that are established. It can be metaphorical of anything that has you set in your ways, Pisces. So I have to say, for many of you, I do see the end of the month being quite transformational looking at these cards. And I don't think you should worry about it, because your card as you go into the month is kind of like your theme card for the month. And when you have your card, Mutable Water, which is Pisces, which is also the Queen of Cups, when you have that energy going in, it's like confirmation that whatever changes you're going through are absolutely on your path. Like, you're not feeling any type of struggle or any type of newness or any type of challenge because you're going the wrong direction. Like, sometimes we can encounter lots of roadblocks because we're trying to go down a path that maybe ultimately isn't really right for us. But sometimes we're encountering obstacles and lessons and hurdles because it's so inherent and true to our personal growth and what's right for us, that these are changes that thematically we can sense somehow, especially you as a Pisces. You can sense that the struggles that you're having are somehow relevant to like lessons that you've needed to learn for a long ass time, and you're ready and your time has come and you're finally feeling strong enough to defend yourself, or to say what you really mean, or to stand firmly and draw a line in the sand, or express yourself, or put yourself out there, put things on the line. Like, what is at stake, Pisces? There's something at stake here for you. There's something that you find meaningful enough to engage with the universe in such a way that you're embracing this kind of change, embracing radical change, like moving overseas or leaving a career that you've been in for like a decade. You know, I mean, that's the kind of energy that we see when we have the wheel and the tower. But the beautiful thing about this is that you can feel that this is your time. You can feel that this is a change that your soul is actually crying out for. It's something that will ultimately give you the ability to be so much more free and so much more wild. Like, when we get broken out of that tower, these people were imprisoned in that tower. They wanted to go for, you know, a walk in the woods or something, but they didn't know that because they were always caught up in what's going on in the tower. So there's a sense of breaking through, breaking out of your mindset, breaking out of the expectations that you normally have for yourself. And when that happens, you are so much more empowered to be wild, to be free, to be playful, to just scream or cry or dance, or, you know, just create your work like a mad person, like just being absolutely inspired, absolutely enthralled and engaged with what you're doing. So I see a definite sense of liberation for many of you at the end of the month, but I don't know how this is going to come through. For some of you, I think it's going to be important to have some plans for how you will manage the practical side of your life if you do go through a big change. For example, like leaving your career that you've been in for a while. For example, do you have savings? Do you have a wealth plan? Do you have a place in the world that you want to go? You know, like, these are big questions because when you get those cards next to each other, it's a big draw. So we got inspiration just flying out. I'm going to get one more card for you on that. Pisces. Adventure. See, I told you, this tower and the wheel is breaking you free. And the inspiration that you're going to be having is probably for some kind of big adventure. And this could be the initiation of a new project. It could be the initiation of a new goal. Like I said before, it could be like moving overseas, or leaving a career, doing something that feels spectacular to you, that just feels really inspiring. And so I really love this. I feel like it's going to be super important for you to be free with yourself and to ask yourself what you really want, because the situation that I see is that your life is kind of giving you the opportunity for that. So it's going to be up to you, of course, to actually take those steps and take yourself on that adventure. But I think you're going to get a little bit of help from the outside world too, in the form of something that changes that's not your decision. But don't be afraid of that, Pisces. Surrender to it, because ultimately when you get into that balanced place within yourself, you can feel that everything that's happening is thematically connected to like the ways in which you wanted to grow. Like, whatever is changing in your life at this time, it's nothing to be afraid of, because it's opening the exact door that you have been trying to open for yourself, or that you have been waiting for too. So this is really exciting. I feel like you're going to be really strong this month, so definitely rely on that strength that you have. I hope that this reading has given you some way, shape, or form to kind of connect with your emotional set point of strength. and your emotional set point of inner trust. Because this is the whole you, Pisces. Like, this is the whole story. You belong here. Wherever you find yourself, even if it's really weird, you belong where you are. That's what I see. So I hope this reading has been helpful, Pisces. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for leaving comments as well. If you want to leave a comment, maybe let me know that you're still here at the very end. Leave a little fish comment or a little fish emoji with a star next to it or something like that to let me know that you are with me still and that I didn't lose you throughout this long reading. I hope, truly, I hope that this has given you something beneficial. If you did get something beneficial from this reading, the best ways that you can say thank you are to give this video a thumbs up, so please don't forget to do that. You can also subscribe to my channel and subscribe to notifications with the bell. That is also really helpful. And also just leaving me a comment to let me know what your thoughts are on this reading and what you think this may be relating to in your life. I would absolutely love to hear from you guys, and I just adore you, and I hope that you have an amazing month in November. If you'd like to donate to support my channel, I will put the information below. You can donate any amount. Even $1 is absolutely fantastic and so helpful, because next month I'm actually going to be doing your 2020 year ahead forecast readings for free here by zodiac sign on YouTube, which is a lot of extra work for me that I won't be able to receive an income for that time. So if you want to say thank you, you can donate any amount. Like I said, even $1 below really will help support me as I do those videos for you guys for next year. And if you'd like to book a personal reading with me, I'll put that information below as well. Sending you so much love, Pisces. Mwah, big hug, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.